Hello. So even as the director of the practice space, I often find myself in the position where I have to do public speaking myself, and I like to practice what I preach. And so I thought I'd share some of my process for a recent video I submitted to do a talk. And it was good to remember what it felt like to be nervous with coming up with this. And so here were some of the steps that I went through. So just to walk you through my morning. The first was to freak out all week and procrastinate. And I left time for that procrastination. So I wasn't going to do it until today. And then after that, I started just looking up models when I felt like I was ready. And I did research on the topic and just got my thoughts together. But then there were so many thoughts. And so then what I usually do is I text or call a friend to see, like, hey, what are you thinking about? What comes to mind when you think about this topic? And after all of that, I sit down quietly and I journal on an unlined piece of notebook paper because I feel restricted by the lines. And I just sketch like crazy. I just, all over the place, lots of drawings and everything. And after that, again, there's lots of thoughts, so I have to refine it. And so I always like to take a shower at that point, even if I've already taken one, to just cleanse the mind. And while I'm in the shower, I think about the beginning and the end and what will be the boundaries of the talk or the speech. And once I feel ready for that, I sit down and I just started outlining from there. And after I got to a certain place where I felt like, okay, some of my thoughts were there, I started pacing around my room and just talking out loud to myself and saying, like, no, that's not a good idea. Maybe I should do this instead. And I was just talking it out. And once I talked it out and was ready ish, I sat down at the computer and practiced saying it at the computer since I was going to record it. And then started practicing for a little while with the recording on. And of course, that's when all of the mistakes happen. And so some of it was just being really forgiving to myself that, okay, it's not going to all be perfect, but I'll keep on doing it and keep on working at it. And then I recorded and it's done now. So yay. But I definitely empathize with how long this process takes. And, those are some of my usual routines. So take it with a grain of salt. Hope it helps you too.